Hi guys, this is just a really quick video on how to nail bind a blanket, because I've been looking at people doing like temperature blankets where they take the highest temperature of the day or the average temperature of the day, assign that temperature a yarn colour and then knit a row for each. So I've been doing the same thing but with runes. So I wanted to nail bind the blanket instead of just knitting or crocheting, because I can't crochet. I can't crochet, and I can only knit if my husband starts me off, and then I can do the row, but that's about as much as I do knitting wise. I'm awful at that, but I seem to have picked up nail binding okay, so I want to nail bind the blanket. So I've done 2 days so far, and I did the first day in the olive green, and then I was totally lost. I couldn't find a video saying this is how you nail bind a blanket, this is how you can nail bind something flat. It's all just stuff to make like circular objects like socks and mittens and stuff. To nail bind a flat piece or a blanket, I found that the best way is to to nail bind each row as a separate row. I began with the green, and then I made a brand new row for the orangey colour, and then I did the same thing as when you're nail binding something circular. So I looped in the stitches with the underneath stitches, like you do when you're doing something like a mitten or whatever. And it's two separate ones but joined the same as you would join it as a circular piece. I really hope that makes sense, because I get a bit muddled up when I'm trying to explain what I mean, and I think I make it overly complicated. So basically, to do each row, you just start a new row and then loop in the stitches of the row underneath like you would if you were doing a circular project. I hope that simplifies it, but I will show you when I start off the next row on this. These are the first 2 rows I've done. Well, as you can see, each end of this is knotted, so each row is a new row. I hope that makes sense. I'll show you in a second when I add in my 3rd row, so you know exactly what I mean in case I've explained it wrong. Right, I hope you can see that. So we've got, you just need your needle. I've got a bone needle. Today's colour is this icy grey blue. I'm just making a loop, putting it on my thumb as if I'm starting a brand new piece. Loop it round again for the 2nd loop, round my thumb like this. Put the other end of the yarn into the needle. We've got the needle threaded, we've got the double thing, just like when you're starting a new piece, except we're going to get the piece that we're starting on. This is the blanket so far, the 2 layers. So we're going to start through the end loop there, and then go through the top loop of that, and then down and through. It's a bit fiddly to start with, but it always is, isn't it, when you're doing the first few stitches and stuff on a project. So there we go, tighten all that up a bit on your finger, and then it's linked. Now we're just going to do the through the loop, through the loop, turn and down the thumb, and I'll show you in a minute when I've done a few more stitches so you can see properly what that looks like, because you can't really see while it's all bunched up. So I'll show you in a sec. Obviously I just pull this bit tight here at the bottom, so we've got the ends to deal with later on, but you can either just tighten them all individually. Sorry, I can't see what I'm doing there. So either tie these together or tie them off and cut them off, and they should just stay. I really hope that's made it easier to understand, because I couldn't make head and tail of of anything, so I just had to sort of wing it. So I really hope that makes it easier if you're struggling.
The best way, or the easiest, most simple way I can explain it is, if you already do nail binding, you know that when you add a second layer, usually it's to something like a mitten or a sock where it's going to be round. So then you would add your stitch onto there and go around while picking up the stitches of the one underneath, like you can see I've done here. So that would traditionally be round. So the way to do it flat is to pick up the stitch the same as if you were doing it on a round object, but to start each row as if you are starting your chain from scratch. I hope that is an easier way to explain it. I really hope that is, because I've tried many different ways to try and explain this, but that's probably the most simple way I can explain it. I couldn't find anything on it. I really couldn't. I looked on YouTube, I looked on Google. I couldn't find just a simple explanation of even just the words, do the same as you would while knitting a sock or a hat, but do it flat. Just don't join the ends. Make a new chain each time and pick up the stitch as you would with a round. Just don't attach it round. So I'm hoping that is an easier way to understand it. I hope that makes sense. I really hope it does, because I really struggled and I don't want that for someone else. It's just a logical thinking thing I'm struggling with, but I couldn't understand how to go from that to that without some sort of help. So I hope that is helpful to somebody. I hope maybe that's a better way to explain it.